Good afternoon, sports fans. It's Joe Harvard, aka Dr. Danger, aka One Band Man, here at One Band Man Research and Development. We're now in beautiful Neptune City, New Jersey. Today we're going to have a look at the schematic for the Love Wagon. This is a shout out to my buddy Nick Paulis, who gave me a Chaos pad to use in dub proof, and we've never looked back. Okay, so this is a setup that you can use if you play any kind of instrument or instruments and you want to add electronica, as well as for those of you who've already got some of this stuff and want to make it portable and more usable. So this is stage one of a two-stage setup. The second will be to add the laptop and an Ableton push for those who use it. But this is a free computer. You don't need the laptop, you don't need anything but the interface. And let's see how that's going to work. Inside the 19-inch milk crate, which is the larger size milk crate, i.e. that size, I've got instruments that I like to play. A mini Chaos pad, Chaosolator, a full-size Chaos pad, and then over here an iPad, which is actually being fed through the mini Chaos pad to save me inputs. So those are the things I like to play in the electronica world, hardware. I also like to play my guitar. And so my foot pedal is on the ground right now, and I'm going to show you how that whole thing goes together. First of all, your traditional instruments. My foot pedal has 5 items on it. I got a tuner, like most people, a boost pedal, like most people, an A-B box, which I use so that I can have a couple of instruments up here. I can switch, typically either a guitar and a bass, or a guitar and a lap steel. I like to do steel work. The lap steel will be on a stand, so I can use my guitar and my steel, or whatever, simultaneously, go back and forth with my A-B switch. So my circuit starts by plugging into the A-B switch, goes to my tuner. From the tuner, which also is a cutoff, kill switch. From there it goes to my boost pedal. Still in mono, it travels to a delay. It's a pretty standard circuit for most cats these days. From the delay, it goes out in stereo. I have a Vox Delay Lab. It's got some nice stereo effects. So once I get to there, now my whole circuit is going to be in stereo and stay in stereo. My Delay Lab in stereo is the end of my guitar circuit. You can consider it. The output of that delay in stereo then comes up to a mixing board. I'm using the lightest, smallest board that I could find in my collection of things that people gave me or that I've had around for a while. I had a Mackie, which I loved, a Mackie VLZ, what is it, 1202, or, but it weighs about 3.5 times what this does. This is a Samson Mixpad 4. It weighs 3¼ pounds, but basically whatever will do the trick for you. I like this because it's very light, and it's got just enough inputs that I'm not going to go crazy. So, how many is that? Well, it claims 4, but you can always squeeze a couple out of any little board if it has auxiliary returns. So what we're doing is coming out of our guitar signal in stereo, and we're going into channels 1 and 2 of the little board, here and here. We're coming out of our mini Chaos pad, which also, remember, has the iPad circuit. So iPad, running whatever apps I like to run, my sample triggering app, Novation Launchpad. You can run iMachine, Chaosolator. There's a lot of great stuff. So figure whichever apps you want to run, I'm saving a channel by running into the input of my mini Chaos pad. And then I can also mutz with, mutate that stuff. So iPad to mini Chaos, it's just basically one half of my circuit comes out in stereo, and that is going into inputs 3 and 4. Like many inexpensive boards, 3 and 4 are ganged up on one input. So what you need is a stereo or tip ring sleeve input, stereo to dual mono, and that breaks out right, left. So I'm going in to 3-4 with my mini Chaos pad, iPad, and over here my K-oscillator, my hardware version. I play that a lot. I like it. I like the tones, and they're different than the K-oscillator tones. So hardware K-oscillator, software K-oscillator. So between here, I got lots of keyboard tones, lots of neat kind of pads and fake horns and organs. And my other 2 channels, as I said, are coming off the pedal board. So we've got 6 channels or 3 stereo pairs in our mixing board now. And then we're going to come out of that mixing board into a Chaos 2 pad. This is a full-size Chaos. This is the one Nick lent me way back when, and for dub proof. So now what I can do is whatever has happened in my instrumental end, whatever I'm up to, I can use my left hand to mutate it if I so desire on the Chaos pad. So that's the last stage of my instrument combining is mixing board to Chaos pad. That output then goes to my computer interface. From the computer interface, it goes right back out, so I'm going into the 1 and 2 left, right of my interface. I'm coming right back out of the interface, going back to my pedal board, to my loop pedal. So even though it's on there, it's really kind of a separate bit for this circuit. So my loop pedal takes the output of the computer interface. There's a really good reason for doing it this way. And then that goes to a pair of amplifiers. Doot, doot. Now I use a couple of little 50-watt customs on stands. They're powered speakers, which I recommend highly. You get yourself some powered monitors and you save a step. I like these because they're waterproof. They're like little plasticky cones, and they sound great. 50 watts a piece. They have 3 inputs each, including 1 for a mini plug. So in a pinch, I can add stuff to it and what have you. You've also, I should mention, got the ability to put a microphone in to your Chaos pad, if you so desire. Okay, that's our basic circuit. Now, as far as the interface is concerned, oh, I should mention one other thing, sorry. Where my stereo signal is coming out of my loop pedal. So whatever I've done here, I can choose to grab it. I get a 5-minute ditto, TC ditto looper. I can grab as much of it as I like and then run off that. I don't have to play with anything if I want to set up even a fairly long section. Comes out of that into these amps, as I said. However, what I've found is my guitar signal, even though it's going to the mixing board and being combined so that I can loop it, loses a little bit of grit and bite if you put it through the board and skip any kind of amplification stage. So I've actually got, when we're coming out of my delay at the end of the guitar circuit, I'm using a mono to dual mono adapter. This is the left out. So one copy of my left out goes along with the right out to the mixing board in channel 1 and 2. But the other copy of left out, which I'm grabbing by just using a splitter cable, the other copy goes to a guitar amp. So I have an independent control of my guitar tone and amp after the basic circuit of tuner, boost, delay. So you've got independence in your guitar tone, as well as the ability to add that guitar into the master loop, we can call it. And that is the basic signal. I love TC stuff, TC Electronics. I have their flashback delay. It's not in this board right now. I use it as a hand trigger at the Media Center, which, by the way, we'll teach you how to use any of this stuff at the Media Center at Ballard. We teach anyone tech, and that includes audio and computer tech and a number of subjects that we won't go into now, but we will take your donation, help you achieve what you want, and then we'll use a good chunk of that donation to teach kids and adults on Asbury Park's west side how to do things. Alrighty, that's our basic circuit. The reason I wanted to let you know I use this TC interface is that here in the front, first of all, it's 4 in, 4 out, which is nice. On the front, it's a fairly standard setup. You have a phantom power switch and volume or gain control. But I like the fact that if you plug into the front, there's a line switch here which essentially lets you keep everything in place and simply override what's ever plugged in back. So let's say that I want to cut a vocal or just add a microphone into my mix. I can just plug straight into here and without having to do all kinds of reset-up work. Or when I've got my laptop in circuit and I want to record, I may not want to go through my whole circuit. Maybe I just want to plug my guitar straight in, go direct, or just take a microphone in front of an amp. So the ability to override the standard rear connections in front is a very good feature to have in an interface. Also, it has a mix control in the front, so that the majority of the time when I use this and I don't have a computer hooked up to it, a laptop, I can still do everything that I normally do. I don't lose any of it. Alrighty. That's our basic rundown for the Love Wagon schematic. And if you use a slightly bigger board, say a 4-channel, you can add any live instrument. I was using my Mackie, and at this stage I had a mic on my suitcase kick drum and a mic on my floor snare. So I could grab live loops from my drums as well, or anything here. So, but this is a little more stripped down. Like I said, I'm going for lightweight and easy portability. And to show you the way that this is working, this is the bottom half. We walked through this before, but the bottom half contains all of the wall warts, power supplies, etc. for this stuff. Oh no, it's a giant thing of TNT. There must be a creeper. I'm sorry. Yeah, so all the power stuff is down here, including a USB hub, which you'll need if you want to use an iPad with any kind of peripheral devices. If you're using it like I am right now, which is really just as a, let's see, volume. If you're using it just as an analog device, through straight into the board, then you don't have to worry about it. But it's very nice to know weird looper. So you can use your Chaos filters on your iPad coming through it. Of course, you have effects of your own on the iPad and filters. And your K-oscillator hardware. You do your X-Files theme there. So yeah, the Love Wagon. And when I'm ready to break this down, set it up, I have to unplug 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 AC cables from the back. They're all yoked, and they just fall out the back, and then I have to unplug a pair of cables here, which I then use a cable clamp to clamp. We got a couple that go to the Ditto, and we got a couple that are coming back from the Ditto, as well as, no, that's about it. Yeah, so the yoking is pretty straightforward, and the setup is really quick, as a matter of fact. So this is a very cool setup. So that is what I just played going now down to the floor pedal. Come on in. Well, there's Steve, so I guess our video is over. See you next time. Hello, young Steve. Hello.